So yeah, what's it like recovering recovering from a loss like that? And how many times did you think you had that game won?
Yeah, felt like we kept getting the big hit and couldn't shut them down. Had a couple of, just little things that go against us. Had the infield single, kind of a tough play on Josh Smith, and a couple hanging breaking balls that we didn't get away with. So definitely a tough one. Listen, the Orioles are a lot better than they've been the last couple of years, but certainly the last two games that if we execute, we should win.
Can you take anything positive away from that, or do you just try to block everything out and move on?
No, listen, there were certainly positives. I mean, we got a big hit multiple times and up and down the lineup. You guys were coming through with quality at bats. Felt like we were never out of it. We came back three or four different times. I thought Howard, after struggling there, getting up the fourth spot, couldn't execute his breaking ball, came back and gave us two quality innings afterwards, and so that was a positive that he bounced back. But all in all, I think it's one of those games you got to kind of wash it off and lock in today, and then hopefully come home and have a good homestand.
JD, you mentioned Spencer Howard there, and you made the decision to bring him up. I wonder, how are you evaluating the rest of your pitchers right now in the minor leagues and how they're doing and progressing?
Yeah, I think it's been mixed. I think the first, month, 6 weeks, we didn't have the success that we wanted. I think if you kind of look from middle of May on, it's been, there's some indicators that have been much more positive. Seen some individual performances get a lot better, and then overall as a whole, there were a couple things that as a group we probably I don't know if we maybe overemphasized or we got in some predictable ruts. Guys that we wanted to throw the fastball up more, and we did it almost too much, and became a little bit predictable, and some of our guys struggled because of it, and have since made that adjustment. You got some guys that Owen White is a great example that had a first couple of rough outings, has been really lights out since, and so feel pretty good about where we're at in the last, say, six or 7 weeks. But the start we got off to on the minor league pitching side, I think makes the overall numbers look worse than they are at this point.
JD, how important is it for the team to kind of go on a run so maybe it can inform you what you might want to do at the trade deadline? Is that something you're still kind of working on, or is it going to have to be a run to kind of put you in a position to make that decision?
Yeah, Brian, that's certainly what we want to see, right? We want to our jobs are a little easier if it's, the team kind of is clearly trending in one direction, ideally trending up and playing well, and certainly makes it easier. That being said, I think even if we're somewhat in between, in the wild card race, but haven't fully clicked, our thought process, our general mindset, kind of philosophy going into the deadline is unchanged. I think for the most part, and we want to set the last few years kind of behind us. We want to have a kind of clear pivot, and to the degree that there are quality baseball deals that help us moving forward. We're always going to be in a mode to do that, but our preference is to see this club, give them support, finish strong, and hopefully that leads towards an exciting September and a chance to get into the tournament.
When it comes to the deadline, JD, like at what point do discussions with other teams start happening? Is it already happening now, or when does that usually start? You start putting out feelers?
It's already started. I mean, we have pretty consistent year-round dialogue with clubs. I think that right now it's more kind of feeling out, understanding who's trying to do what. You may see a couple of smaller things happen, kind of like the Seattle-Kansas City deal where Seattle had the Ty France injury. Kansas City looking to make spots they got the two young first basemen in AAA, Pasquantino and Prado, and the timing worked out for both of them. So you've had some kind of those conversations. We've gotten, inquiries on a variety of our players. We've, made some inquiries on other players. I don't think it'll really pick up in earnest until after the draft. That was kind of one of the downsides in my mind of pushing the draft back, because I think it also pushes the deadline activity back a little bit. And so I think coming out of the draft after the All-Star break, those last 10 days, 2 weeks is when you'll see most of the activity.
So are you feeling urgency? I don't want to use the word anxious to get something done, but are you eyeballing that deadline as like, let's get something done here, or what's your sort of mood? Is it wait and see? Is it long-term approach, or is it like, guys, we got a good team, they need some help, let's do this?
I think first and foremost, we still have a kind of a long-term approach, but it's more of a long-term approach of trying to add the right pieces that can help us win championships the next few years, and that's really our top priority. Our short-term approach, to the degree that we take any sort of kind of moves that are really more geared towards the last couple months, I mean, that'll be affected more by how we play this month. I think big picture, long-term, philosophical type discussions are, that's going to be focused more on just what we want to accomplish here and a chance to win long-term.
So looking at the longer term, could you make this team really good in one deadline or one acquisition window, or do you need like a full off season and 2 trade deadlines? What are we looking at here as far as calendar months before you envision it being possible that this team looks like a contender?
It's a great question, and probably the toughest one to answer. I mean, I don't think we are that far away. I think that we're going to get some contributions from guys internally. Some guys already up on the club are going to, over the course of the next, few months of the season, this off season, are going to make strides and ultimately contribute to a championship club. And we're going to acquire others. I mean, that's a great part of kind of having competition in the system, whether it's some of these young starters or this young infield group, is that it's going to get the best out of each other. It's going to help inform our decisions on who's going to play for us, and then help us when we get inquiries on that group as we look to add pieces from the outside. So timeline, hard to say, but our expectation is we've taken a meaningful step in the first half of this year. We need to keep going, finish strong in the second half, and then into next year we expect to be a contender.
JD, if I could circle back again to the trade deadline stuff, and I know you can't mention names, but is it possible there's a Cole Hamels type of a deal out there where, you could trade for an impact player who still has several years of control? I mean, is there something like that?
I mean, that's certainly that'll be the top of our priority list, is if we could add an impact player that fits us now and fits us for the next several years and gives us options. And I think the unique part about that Hamels deal was that we felt the team was trending up. We wanted to support the club that year. We felt that the division was winnable, and the team responded. They kind of rewarded our faith that year. Obviously, in addition to Hamels, we got Diekman in that deal, and we added Sam Dyson, and really kind of fortified the bullpen. So that would be kind of a perfect scenario. We had a deep system at the time. The players that we were able to put in the Hamels deal, we felt like we're good players, but we felt we had depth in those areas, and so if we could replicate that would be ideal.
Corey Seager had the go-ahead home run last night in the 9th, his 16th of the year. As we get closer here to the midway point, what have you seen from Corey Seager?
Seen a guy that has been productive despite, I don't think he's felt 100% right with his swing yet this year. He hasn't, what is he, 720, 730 OPS. You feel pretty confident he's going to produce at a higher rate than that. I think two things. One, like I said, mechanically, I don't think he's felt totally right. He's a guy that is really in tune with his swing and spends a lot of time on it to get it right. And then two, he's been one of the most unlucky players in the big leagues when you look at the quality of his batted ball data and how hard he's hit balls, and when you look at guys that have hit balls hard right at people, guys that made great plays on him. He's at the top of that list around the league, and that's not just Ranger rose colored glasses. That's objectively looking at it in kind of different ways. So I see two pretty strong reasons why, between his getting his swing down where he wants it to be, and then just the luck turning. Two pretty strong reasons why we think he's going to be better in the second half.